What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football, the NFL draft. Today we're going to talk about some sleepers at the receiver position for this year's NFL draft. Now, I'm not going to lie. About a week ago, I didn't think I was going to be making a video like this about these specific receivers, but we all know what happened last week with the Texans trading away DeAndre Hopkins. And that right there made a massive hole and elevated the receiver position to the number one need. Don't believe the hype. Don't let the hype fool you. Receiver is the number one need for the Houston Texans. Y'all know me. If y'all been watching this channel for a long time, I've been the biggest one out here just screaming about getting a corner, either drafting a corner or signing a corner or trading for a corner. But all that gets pushed aside when you trade away Hopkins. If you don't believe me, look at what Deshaun's been doing all weekend with on his Twitter page. Out there shooting subliminal slugs and retweeting and subtweeting and cryptic tweets and liking other tweets. He's showing his anger and frustration with this organization. Can you blame him? They traded away his number one target, a running mate of his, in Hopkins. So what do you do? Because you don't want to turn this into a Tom Brady situation last year where he didn't have no weapons. That's all you heard all last year. Tom Brady ain't got no weapons. Tom Brady ain't got no weapons. One of the reasons why he ended up going to Tampa Bay. You don't want to put your young quarterback in that situation. And all I've been hearing for the past couple months, oh, this is the deepest class in receiver. This is the deepest receiver class in some time. So we're going to put this to the test. Because I put together a list of guys that you can get in the second round. So, and this is not just for the Texans. This is for anybody who's looking for receivers in the second round. If you're not able to get your Jerry Jeudy's or your CeeDee Lambs in the first round or your Ruzz in the first round, guys who will be there in the second round, because there are some steals in the second round, some very legitimate receivers. And I got a list together of how I rank these receivers and what I like about them, what's their weaknesses and what's their strengths, and you decide if these are the guys for you. So as like I said, this is not just for the Texans. This is for anybody who's looking for a receiver. We're going to get this list ready to go because my number one person on the list is T. Higgins, receiver out of Clemson, 6'4", 216 pounds. He ran a 4.43. I think it is pro day. I don't think he ran at the combine. I think they said that was his pro day. That 4.43. And the reason why he's my number one, I think he's the closest guy in this draft that you can get to Hop. Not saying he's Hop. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that he's Hop, but I think he's the guy in this draft. All these guys I've seen who closest resembles what he can do on and off the field. So that right there, plus him, the Clemson Tide, helped Deshaun be a little bit more comfortable with him because even though they didn't play together at Clemson guys know Clemson guys, especially with Dabo still being the head coach. He would know him, and like I'm pretty sure he's been around them. I'm pretty sure I think he might have been there. Deshaun's last year, he might have been a true freshman, or a redshirt freshman rather. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure they know each other, and they probably worked out with each other in the offseason as well. So that right there gives some. I think Deshaun probably knows what he is capable and not capable of. I like his route runs. He out there goes get he high points the ball, catches a lot of 50-50 balls. What they like to do with Clemson. One of the things that Hop was great at. So it's something that Deshaun's good throwing as well. So that a little bit more comfortable. The problem with with T. Higgins is that he might not be there at pick 40. And if he's there at pick 40, you got to draft him at pick 40. You can't wait to pick 57. If he's there at pick 40, you have to go get him then. You can't wait because he's not going to be there at 57. He might not even be there at 40. He might be there. He might end at the first round. So I don't know. And to be honest, like I said, the Clemson Tide is a plus for Deshaun, but it might be a minus for Bill O'Brien because I think that's part of the reason why Bill O'Brien got rid of Hop. Remember, Hop wasn't a Bill O'Brien guy. Hop was brought into the Texans before Bill O'Brien in 2013 under Rick Smith and Gary Kubiak. So he was here before Bill O'Brien. And maybe Bill O'Brien trying to weed out some of the guys that he had no involvement with because he's a guy who wants all the credit. Everything about him. He's ego driven. He wants to be, I'm the one who developed Deshaun, not Dabo. It's all me. It's all me. So I think that's part of the problem. So him being a Clemson product might be a detriment to T. Higgins as far as Houston Texans are concerned. But I think he's an absolute receiver. I think that's a good receiver. Definitely could be a number one. Like I said, he has great size. He's actually bigger than Hop. Hop was 6'1", I think 212. So he's 4 pounds and 3 inches taller. But like I said, he does a lot of similar things to Hop. Like I said, he's not Hop, but he's the closest you're going to get to him. Now, my number 2 receiver on my list is Brandon Ayuk, I probably mispronounced his name wrong. Okuda, I think. Yeah, Brandon Okuda, receiver out of Arizona State, 6'6.5", 6'1" ish. Like I seen some of these 6.5, and I seen some of these 6'1", 205 pounds. The guy's a baller. When you put on the tape, he just stands out. He's an absolute playmaker. I mean, he has a lot of wiggle, a lot of burst. He gets open. He has no problem getting open. The problem with him is that his forward time is good, not great. He ran a 4.5, but he's not going to step on week 1 and be your number 1 receiver. Like he's not like week 1. He won't. Are you drafting him? He's not going to be your number 1 receiver week 1. Now possibly week 17, week 18, he will emerge. Next year, his second year in the league, he will take over and be the number 1 receiver. And that's not a problem because Hop was the number 1 receiver his first year. Hop didn't become a number 1 receiver to midway through his second year in the league. The 2014 season when Hop really stepped up and emerged to become the number 1 receiver and took place of Andre Johnson. But the guy has a lot of playmaking ability. Like he gets up and he goes gets the football. Like he catches with his hands, nice route runner, good catcher with the hands. He goes out and catches the football. I like him a lot. Like he pops on tape. Like as soon as you watch the tape, he completely stands out. Like I say, his forward time is a 4.5. He has game speed because he does not look like a 4.5 guy. He looks like a sub 4.4 guy. Like he is out there taking people out. He's outrunning people. He gets deep, and we know that Deshaun is a very good deep ball thrower, and we like to throw the deep ball. I think that he could be a complete asset. And like I said, mid-year into the second year is when he can step up and completely be the number 1 receiver. He ain't going to be the number 1 receiver week 1. That's the problem. He's not going to be number 1 receiver week 1. He's a little bit more raw. Like I said, T. Higgins is out of all these guys I'm about to name. T. Higgins is the most polished. I forgot to mention about T. Higgins. He's the most polished out of all the guys. He's a little bit raw, but I like him a lot. I like this kid a absolute lot. Like I think he can be a nice player. Like, not saying that he is Odell, but you can use him a lot. Like they used him a lot, like how the Giants used Odell, a lot of slants, and he was getting up, he was getting in and taking it to the house. Like I like the kid a lot. Like he could definitely be a very dynamic receiver. My number 3 receiver on the list is the ultimate wild card, and that's Denzel Mims, receiver out of Baylor, 6'3", 207 pounds. Even though he's the number 3 guy on my list, and that's on my list out of these second round guys, and then you still got the 3 guys in the first round. The reason why I say he's the biggest wild card, I would not be surprised if 4 to 5 years from now, he's the best receiver in the draft. He has all the talent. And the reason why he's 6'3", 207 pounds, he has a huge catch rate, big hands, kind of similar to Hop, big hands, has a huge catch rate. He's making all type of circus catches on the sideline. But one thing about him, he runs a 4.38. That's how fast he is. And to put that in perspective, Kenny Stills runs a 4.38. So he is extremely fast and strong. He's extremely fast and tall and big. The problem with him is that he's not a bad route runner, but he ain't all a good one. Like he's decent. He's not a horrible route runner. He's decent, but he's not all that good at route running because he doesn't capture his full speed on every route. Like when he run the go route, you see that 4.38. Some other routes, he don't have that same type of burst, and same time his speed kind of tails off a little bit. So you would have to get somebody who can run routes to help emerge him, because if he gets that route running down packed, like I said, he has the potential to be the best receiver in this draft. I would not be shocked at all if the Texans take him over everybody. Like, all these guys on the board at pick 40, they like, that's who I want because how big he is. And you have him and Fuller, and you also have Kenny Stills. You have all the speed, and you have Randall Cobb cut a lot of stuff from it. And then that Randall Cobb situation kind of makes a little bit more sense because you got so much speed going up top that he has a lot of room to eat up underneath. But he goes out and gets the football. Like I said, like he makes a lot of circus catches. You put it in his area code, he gonna come down where he gonna catch it. He's bigger than most everybody. He can out jump everybody as well. Like I said, the problem is his route running. Like his route running has to get down. In my opinion, if they do go this route, they have to call up Andre Johnson immediately and like, hey Dre, I know we got rid of your little brother. I know you probably upset about that, but look, this kid here can be very special We need you to help him run his routes. We need you to help him get his route running, because if you get his route running halfway better, oh my, this kid could be extremely dangerous. Like I said, we know Deshaun likes to throw the ball deep. This offense likes to put the ball down deep. If they watched a lot of Kansas City, if they try to emulate some of that speed, that's how you can do it. That's how you can do it. Now, my fourth guy on the list is Michael Pittman Jr., wide receiver at USC, 6'4", 223 pounds. He's a big, solid guy. Strong. Another guy who jumps up there and go gets it. Like, you throw the ball up, like a lot of these kids, they high point the ball easily. They do. They like today's college game. They do a lot of 50-50 balls, and these kids out there are really going out there and getting it. The problem with him is that he runs a 5-4-2. I mean, a 4-5-2. I'm sorry. He runs a 4-5-2, and he doesn't get open. You're gonna have to scheme him open. Like, he got open at USC, but I think that's more so of the scheme got him open, and not more so of him getting himself open. And that's a problem down here in Houston, because we have a lot of receivers running into each other all the time. I don't know if it's the way they run the routes or the way they teaching the routes, or a combination of both, because it's not just Kiki. I've seen Kenny Stills and Fuller do the same thing. I've seen Stills and Hop do the same thing. So I think it's a way that they're teaching the route combinations, what they're doing. Maybe Tim Kelly can change and fix some of that. But with him, he could be a nice receiver. Like I said, he's big and he's strong, similar to Mike Evans. Not saying he's Mike Evans, but similar to that same ilk. And I think that with him, you can he could be a nice receiver, but you're gonna have to scheme him open. Like I said, he's big and strong, and he's not gonna let nobody punk him. He's gonna be able to the ball. He's gonna come down with the ball, like I say, 75 to 80% of the time, because of how big and strong he is. The problem with him is that you got to get him open. Like, you don't want to test him all the time with contested balls. Like, you need to get him open sometimes. So you're gonna have to coach him open. You're gonna have to scheme him open. So that's gonna be more of a challenge to Tim Kelly. If Tim Kelly's really taking over the offense, you're gonna have to do a little bit more. Be more exotic with the way you do your route combination to scheme this guy open. Now, the fifth guy on my list is Justin Jefferson, receiver at LSU. 6'1", 202 pounds, ran a 4.43 ran 4.43. I like this kid a lot. Like, y'all know I'm a Texas Tech fan, but outside of Texas Tech, I watched a lot of LSU football. I like him a lot. The problem I think with him is I don't know if he's a number one. Like, I don't know if not only is he a number one, will he ever be a number one. I think he is a perfect number two. I think he definitely can come to the NFL and definitely be a number two, a legitimate number two receiver. But I don't know if he is 100% bona fide guy who could become a number one. I have no problem with T. Higgins becoming a number one. I think he's number one off the gate. I think Brandon will be a number one. I think Denzel Mims could be a number one. I think if you use Michael Pittman the right way, you can make him a number one. I don't know, for instance, if the way he's a shorter guy and a smaller frame guy, I don't know if he's going to be able to become a number one receiver. I could be wrong, but I think he'd be a definitely dominant number two. But I think if you draft him, you're definitely saying Will Fuller is your number one. I think that's what you're saying. I think you're definitely saying that Fuller is going to be your number one if you do that. Like, you're banking on Fuller being healthy and being your number one receiver, which kind of scares me, even though I'm a huge Fuller fan, that him being your number one is different. I can accept, like I said, I can accept him only playing 10 games and playing the playoffs as a number two receiver to Hop. Being my number one, he has to play every bit of, it's a 16-game season, he has to play every bit of at least 14 to 15 games. Like, he has to. Like, he can't miss 3 to 4 games and be a productive number one receiver. I'm sorry, he can't. So he has to be like, so that's my problem. I like Justin Jefferson, but I don't know if he fits, because I need somebody in this office who could be a number one. I like him a lot, and he could possibly be a number one. I just have an issue. I don't know if he would be one. Now, number 6. This guy here, and I said this about T. Higgins, that him being Clemson might be a problem for Bill O'Brien. This guy here, out of all these guys, I think is Bill O'Brien's perfect receiver. And that scares me a lot. Scares me a whole lot. And that's Laviska, I'd probably mess up his name, Laviska Shenault Jr. out of Colorado. He's 6'1", 227 pounds. He ran a 4.58. One that's slower than Hop. Hop ran, I think, a 4.57, which Hop showed you that his 40 time does not make him. And actually, that's not even my problem with him. My problem is when I put on the tape, and maybe like the second or third play, I see him in the backfield, and I say, please don't. Please don't. And they run the Wildcat. I'm like, no. Then I see another one that they're running him out of the backfield. I'm like, oh no. Then I see him doing a receiver reverse, and he's running up to me. I'm like, oh no. And I'm sitting like, and I'm watching a lot of plays, and really none of them was him on the outside being a receiver. And then I started seeing other plays with him being outside, but there was a lot of plays with him being in the backfield, them giving the ball in other different type of ways, and him doing all type of stuff, and that screams Bill O'Brien. That screams being versatile. You know, that's his favorite word, being versatile. And that alarms me because I'm like, this is a guy that Bill O'Brien would definitely draft. This has Cecil Shorts and not Julian, Cecil Shorts and Julian. Not like Julian. I mean, they got that written all over it. It has that whole Patriot style, Bill O'Brien type offense type of receiver written all over it, and I'm like, no. He's a big, solid dude. Like I say, he's 227. He runs over people like he's a running back. I mean, he can catch the football just fine. I don't think he's a receiver. Like, I think he's a guy who you can just do a lot of different stuff with. And again, that alarms me because that's definitely the type of guy that Bill O'Brien would draft. And that's the reason why he's on my list, is because I think that's definitely the type of guy that Bill O'Brien would draft. And if he's still on the board, if he takes him over the other five guys, because there's no way that he's definitely going to be there at pick 57. And I don't see a way that you get 3 receivers in the first round and then you get these other 5 guys go. You see 8 receivers drafted by pick 57. Ain't no way you're going to see 8 receivers drafted by pick 40 or pick 57. So he's a guy that I think the Texans will end up drafting. If they do pick him up at the 3rd round. Because if not, they pick him up any earlier than the 3rd round. That means they picked him over the rest of these guys. And that's a problem. That's extremely problematic. I don't like that at all. Like, that just still tells me Bill O'Brien, the fix is in, and I don't think that this will make Deshaun any happier, because I don't think he's an offensive tool, but he's not an actual receiver that I can use to benefit to help my offense. Now, I got a special case. I don't think this is likely for the Texans drafting, but I'll just put him out there just in case. And that's KJ Hollerman, receiver at Penn State. He's 5'9", 178 pounds, but he runs a 4.27. Now, he didn't run the combine. He's rumored to run a 4.27 from all reports. And when you put on the tape, he's extremely fast. And the reason why I put him on here is just because if you just want to go completely mad scientist and you just want to say, fuck it, we just about to just throw all type of screens and we just about to just throw bombs all downfield and we just going to kill you with speed like Kansas City did. He's definitely the kid to do it if you're going to do it in the later rounds, if you're not going to be able to get a guy in the first round. He's definitely the kid to be able to do it. I don't think it will happen. I just put it out there just in case. Just in case. Like I said, my problem with him is that he's a small frame guy, and which is not a problem, but with us, we need a bigger receiver. That's why I got a lot of these guys are 6'4" and 6'3" and 6'1", almost 6'2", big guys, because that's what we need to replace Hopkins. You need a big receiver. But his speed is uncanny. Like, he's out here running the 4.27. You can't teach that. You can't teach that type of speed. And he really goes out there and go get it. Like, he's extremely explosive. Like, extremely. And like I said, I think that's a complete long shot, but I just put him out there just in case you want to go mad scientist. Just in case you just want to go mad scientist with offense. But in closing, T. Higgins is the #1 receiver. Like I said, he's the most polished guy off the list. The guy who's going to remind you the most of Hop. I doubt that the Texans, I doubt that the Texans be able to get him because either he might not be there at 40, damn sure ain't going to be there at 57 if they decide to go corner edge rush at 40. So he's definitely not going to go, he's not going to be there at 57. He might not even be there at pick 40. And two, him being Clemson is a plus for Deshaun to help Deshaun be more comfortable with him, but it might be a minus for Bill O'Brien. Number two, Brandon Akuta, Arizona State. I think he's a guy, he's not as polished, but he's a guy who's a playmaker. Like, he's a legitimate playmaker. He goes out there and goes get the football. He's an extremely playmaker. He's not going to be your number one to late season, if not early his second season. But I think the payoff would be, like I said, he's a playmaker. Number three, Denzel Mims, the guy who could be the best receiver out of this draft class because of his size and his speed. He just needs to get his route running down so he can run that top speed throughout all his routes. But he's definitely a guy who I could definitely see going in front of all these guys because of, I could see him even going late in the first round because he has so much potential. Four is Michael Pittman Jr., receiver out of USC, guy who's big and strong, Mike Evans type. But you're gonna have to coach him open. You're gonna have to scheme him to get open. I don't think he's polished enough, and does lack the speed because he's out here running a 4.52. Doesn't have the speed to get open. So you're gonna have to coach him open. You're gonna have to scheme him open. So you're gonna do a lot of good route combinations to get him open. Number five, Justin Jefferson. Like him, he was a go-get-it guy for LSU. Big playmaker for Joe Burrow. The problem is he really a number one? Like, can he be a legitimate NFL number one? He damn sure could be a number two, but can he be a number one? That's the question with him. Number six, Laviska Shenault Jr. out of Colorado. A gadget guy, in my personal opinion. A guy who you could just throw around. I mean, he could probably create mismatches because you could put him all over the field, but not what the Texans really need. The Texans really need a bona fide receiver on the outside, and I don't think he's that. But he is I definitely can see him being a Bill O'Brien type guy because he's extremely versatile. And then number seven, the wild card, KJ Holloman out of Penn State, just a straight burner. All you need to know, 4.27. That's all you need to know. He's out here running at 4.27. So that's my list for receivers. Hey man, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if y'all know any receivers. Y'all got some more receivers y'all want to put up on here. Let me know what y'all think about these guys. If y'all like them, if y'all don't like them, they all trash. You think they all gonna be great? Whatever. Like, share, subscribe, comment below, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.